Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet is the
Dr. Doreen is an expert in autism.
Doreen Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet is a visionary in the field of autism. Now you can ask her questions on Ask Dr. Doreen.
We're just tons of questions, and I'm sorry we're not going to get to all of them, but somebody wants to know how to teach attributes to a 2-year-old. For example, if I say, give me the red car, he either listens to the red part and gives me a red thing, or to the car part and gives me a car. And they also want to know what free training is offered by IBT this week. And I don't know which part of did they by any chance tell you yesterday which part of IBT is free? We'll find out. But every week, that ibehavioraltraining.com that Dr. Grand-Pichet was just talking about, every week they're offering some part of their parent training for free. If you go into ibehavioraltraining.com and at the top, there's a tab that says something about community, you click on that, then you click on caregivers, it takes you to the parents tab, and then you get to see all the trainings that they have for parents, and then it has a price associated with it. But every week they have a different segment that when you put it in the cart, and if you put in the code COVID, all capitals, it's case sensitive, COVID-19, has to be all capitals -19. If you've picked the right ones, it'll zero out your cart and they'll be free. But we'll find out which ones. I know last week it was, do you know?
Sorry. Yeah, I do. So this week one is useful strategies for in the home, and the other one is overcoming challenging behaviors. Those are the two that are free, and they are rotating them. And actually, Shannon and I asked the folks at IBT yesterday to send you an email every week letting you know, so that you could also let your viewers know. Getting back to this question real quick, the issue that you're having is what we call discrimination training. And it's a very common issue. I wouldn't be scared by it. It's just that the child is over-selecting. They're listening to one or the other. There's a lot of different interventions for this, whether it's receptive, different types of things that you can try, or expressive, or it has a lot to do with how you prompt the child. What I would recommend is that you go to IBT, the website we're just talking about, ibehavioraltraining.com, and just get the one module that's called discrimination training. And you'll learn everything you need to know about how to teach the child to discriminate, and to put these two things together. If you still have an issue, you need to give me a little bit more detail about how exactly is the instruction given, what are the stimuli that you're using, and how is are there any prompts involved, and what is the frequency with which the child responds to the color as opposed to the object, and was he fluent with both of those? Have you rotated, let's say, the color with other objects? Does the same thing happen, and so on? I have so many questions. That's why it's so much easier. It's so much easier if I get to observe a child doing something, then I know instinctively how to fix it. But it's hard when you just hear the problem. Yeah.
But this is why you guys can go back and bring this to the expert who has eyes. And giving a shout out to a wonderful mom here, Elena, who says, my son is 5 and we're about to start ABA card in just a few weeks. We tried in the past different therapies, but no progress. I really hope that ABA can help. I'm so excited. And Elena, I just want to say to you that, that means that you get to come to an orientation, a group orientation with me. So we'll have a really good time, because that's one of the things that I do is help orient parents to how to get started. So I'm excited that you're coming aboard, and I think that you're going to see some tremendous progress. Okay. All right. So somebody says, my son is 3 and he has the same problem, although I don't know what that was referring to. He has a tantrum when coloring and when toys don't fit in a certain place.
Oh, okay. So one sec, I'm just making a note to myself that I also need to guard mission. Yeah.
Okay, but I think I know what it was that she was referring to, because another person said, I have a question. I'm working with a child who shows a lot of inflexibility in his day-to-day activities. This includes getting upset and engaging in property destruction when he colors out of the lines of a page, or when a toy doesn't fit exactly where he wants it to. How can we work on flexibility? That's the one that she was saying her son is just like. There we go.
Right. So, like everything else, well, first of all, inflexibility has to do, in my mind, with increased anxiety, as well as, just a desire for perfection, right? So some of our kids, and I often try to see the world from the perspective of our kids. We teach them so many rules, or we're trying to teach them so many rules, and they learn very quickly that they will be rewarded if things happen perfectly, right? Or the way that we would like it. And then they strive for that, and they try very hard to do things perfectly. And so they become very frustrated when things are not perfect. That's one thing. The other thing is, they have control over so little to begin with, that when they can't fix something, it's twice as frustrating for them. A lot of our kids have increased heightened anxiety just because the world is harder for them to process. Like, it's not like they don't understand half the language that's going on around them. Stimuli are very intense for them. Sounds are intense for them. Shannon, I always talk about the fact that it's a natural response to have a heightened level of anxiety if you have autism, just because it's so much harder to process the environment, right? Anxiety then leads to wanting to control things. Obsessive compulsive behavior is a form of anxiety. And so they start to develop these sort of obsessive behaviors, and they act out these compulsions or things that try to help them reduce the anxiety. Being able to do things in a perfect way, or having things in a certain order that must work, is a stress reducer. It's something that helps us feel a little bit more safe. So that's kind of what's causing it. But on the other hand, the way that you deal with it, let's just talk about the one that both viewers wrote in, which is not being able to place a puzzle in, or getting frustrated when a puzzle doesn't go into or a piece doesn't go into the puzzle. So like everything else, you guys, you make it easier and reward more, and then gradually back off. So when your child starts doing that, hand over hand prompt him so that he doesn't have as many failures. Make it easier in multiple ways. Either you can hand over hand prompt it, or you can reduce the number of pieces so that really he only has one piece and one place to put it. Reward that and gradually fade yourself out. So next time, instead of fully prompting his hand into the location, then tap his finger a little bit. And next time, maybe point to the location, or maybe help him turn it. Those types of things. Help more, prompt more, reward it, so that the activity gains more of a rewarding, reinforcing type of conditioning to it. And then gradually make it a little bit more difficult, give him more shapes, more pieces, and fade out a little bit gradually. I would not expect this to go away that quickly, because it is a form. It's kind of a reaction, I guess, of the child to trying to control their environment, trying to keep things in a certain order. By the way, it's very telling for kids who try to do that, because then it helps you identify other things that you can do in their environment to help them feel a little bit more safe. For example, picture schedules. For kids like this, it's always very helpful for them to know what's coming in their day. So give them a picture schedule, allow them to see what is the next activity. Maybe give them a drawer in the house where they can store their favorite items. Sometimes kids like this also like to hold on to objects or hoard objects. Deal with the all the things that are inside that bubble of obsessiveness, the different behaviors that are also obsessive in nature. Try to give the child a sense of safety in other areas, or security, or routines. That's a big one. Having the child follow a routine helps them feel less anxious, so that when something as small as a puzzle not fitting doesn't happen, when it happens, that it doesn't cause a meltdown. So it's kind of a complicated response, but it's a lot of things to do with the child.
Wonderful.
Hey, thanks for watching Autism Live. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.